As the country eagerly awaits the hearing and the subsequent ruling of the Supreme Court on the presidential petition, Judiciary Chief Registrar Anne Amadi says all is set ahead of tomorrow's pre-trial hearing. This as vote counting in Mombasa and Kakamega counties is underway as residents await to hear their next leaders announced. At the same time, the battle for truth continues as leaders sign affidavits to respond to general election queries raised by rival factions. We have these and more stories on our broadcast tonight on Newswatch. Good evening and welcome. I'm Tony Omondi. Our sign language interpreter is Boniface Muridhi. Let's begin our broadcast. Now, Kenyans in 8 electoral areas, including Mombasa and Kakamega counties, went to the ballot Monday to elect their leaders after the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, postponed the election due to ballot papers hitch and alleged electoral officials' harassment. Residents in Mombasa and Kakamega counties voted for governors, while those in Kachaliba and Pokot South, West Pokot County, Rongai, Nakuru County, and Kitui Rural, Kitui County voted for members of National Assembly, as those in Nyaki West Ward, North Imenti constituency, and Kwanjenga Ward in Embakasi South constituency went to the ballot to vote for their members of the County Assembly. As Dickens Luvanda reports, polling stations closed at 5 p.m., even as political rivals blamed each other of voter bribery amid low voter turnout.
Kenyans in 8 electoral areas, including Mombasa and Kakamega counties, on Monday, August 29th, went to their ballot to vote for their representatives after the elections were postponed on August 9th, the date of the general election, due to what the elections agency said were ballot papers mix-ups. The polls, which were supposed to be held on August 23rd, were again postponed after the Electoral Commission IEBC cited intimidation and harassment of its staff. The elections conducted by IEBC are for the Mombasa and Kakamega governor seats, as well as Member of Parliament seats in Kachaliba and Pokot South in West Pokot County, Rongai in Nakuru County, and Kitui Rural in Kitui County. Also going to the polls were residents in Nyaki West Ward in North Imenti constituency, Meru County, and Mukuru Kwanjenga Ward, Embakasi South constituency in Nairobi County, but the elections were characterized by low voter turnout and claims of voter bribery. In Mombasa County, the ODM party governorship candidate Abdulsamad Sharif Nasir cast his vote at 9 a.m. at Mvita Primary, becoming the first candidate to vote, where he appealed to residents to come out and vote for their governor.
Watu wengi wana fikra na dhania ya kuwa kura zitachelewa, kura zilianza mapema, hazitoendelezwa baada ya muda unaotakikana. Na pia hamna foleni. Waliopo hapa wote wamepiga kura. Kupiga kura inachukua muda wa chini takriban dakika 3 mpaka dakika 5. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu ni boksi moja peke yake.
Earlier at Mary Cliff Primary School in Chuda, the Mvita Member of Parliament-elect Mohamed Mashele decried low voter turnout in his constituency and called on residents to turn up and vote.
So far process iko vizuri, compare leo na last election ya 39, leo kidogo kuna improvement kubwa sana kwa IEBC. Unachukua muda mfupi, less than 3 minutes umemaliza kucast vote yako.
The UDA gubernatorial Mombasa candidate Hassan Sarai voted a few minutes past 11 a.m. at Kada Boy Dispensary at Makadara grounds, where he also decried low voter turnout and accused his opponents of carrying out voter bribery in Kisauni sub-county.
We're about halfway in most polling stations around Mombasa, ranging from about 11 to 17%. Now I'm hoping that within the next, by the afternoon, a lot more will start to improve. There have been a bit of incidences where some people tried to attack a car that was delivering food to our agents. There's widespread bribery by the ODM, which we have asked the police to either manage, or in the next hour or so we'll manage it ourselves. We will take no prisoners. We have told the police structure, particularly the county commander and the county commissioner, that it is time to live by the rules of democracy.
In the Kakamega governorship election, ODM candidate Fernandes Barasa decried voter bribery from his opponents, while his closest challenger Cleophas Malala of ANC lamented low voter turnout.
Mambo ya usalama iko salama, hatujakuwa na visa vyovyote hapa za usalama. Jambo tu ambalo tumeona kwa wingi sana ni mambo ya voter bribery. Mpinzani wangu ambao ni Cleophas Malala amekuwa akinunua wapiga kura wengi sana kwa vituo mbalimbali.
I have not witnessed any voter bribery. I have said this has been the most peaceful elections. I have not seen people bribing people, and I will not encourage, even myself, I will not encourage people to bribe people.
In Rongai constituency, Raymond Moi, who is seeking re-election under the Jubilee Party, voted at Masinjiri Primary School, where he accused the UDA elected leaders of intimidating voters in the election. Nakuru East Member of Parliament David Gikaria was saved by a boda rider from angry voters when he tried to enter the Kiamunyi Mixed Day Secondary School polling station as a UDA monitoring agent as voting started for the Rongai parliamentary seat. The election of the 4 parliament members could tilt the scales in determining which of the 2 leading coalitions, Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza, becomes the majority and minority in the National Assembly. Deacon Luvanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Moving on, persons with disability through the Inua Mlemavu initiative led by activist Michael Macarena have filed a petition seeking to be enjoined in the presidential petition as interested parties. In the petition, which will now be argued before the Supreme Court on Tuesday as the Apex Court conducts the pre-trial conference, the Inua Mlemavu initiative said the outcome of the presidential elections should be put in question as about 800,000 people with disabilities did not vote. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the Supreme Court will on Tuesday conduct a pre-trial conference which will, among other things, frame contested and uncontested issues in the petition, consider consolidation of petitions in cases where more than one petition is filed, determine the number of advocates that the court shall hear on behalf of each party, as well as allocate time for each party to address the court. Only 4 lawyers from each party will be allowed to access the courtroom.
More than 800 persons with disabilities through the Inua Mlemavu initiative, led by activist Macarena, have filed a petition at the Supreme Court questioning the validity of the outcome of the just concluded polls. Through their lawyers Danstan Omari and Shadrack Wamboi, they state that they were unable to engage lawyers to file the petition in time because of lack of funds.
These people did not vote. We are talking about over 800 people who did not vote because they were not allowed the facilities to vote. These are Kenyans, and we've raised the constitutional requirement that the winner must get 50 plus 1 vote. That plus 1 vote could be the vote of the disability.
In their petition, which will now be argued before the Supreme Court on Tuesday, as the Apex Court conducts the pre-trial conference, the Inua Mlemavu initiative also claims that the IEBC did not assign sign language interpreters in the polling stations to aid persons with disabilities or individuals with hearing impairment.
People who are members of the Inua Mlemavu initiative are calling to question the election that we conducted on the 9th day of August 2022 to the extent that we do not have a braille system that will have allowed blind people to participate meaningfully in terms of recognizing their desired representatives. So to that extent, they have called to question the election or the election results that were declared by the chair of the IEBC, and to that extent they seek first to be joined so that they can participate meaningfully and help us in understanding and analyzing to what extent is free and fair as a constitutional principle for the conduct of elections in this country.
The decision of 2022 cannot be a valid and genuine decision if that critical mass was not allowed to vote.
On Tuesday, the Supreme Court is expected to conduct a pre-trial conference, with its objectives being to frame contested and uncontested issues in the petition, consider consolidation of petitions in cases where more than one petition is filed, determine the number of advocates that the court shall hear on behalf of each party, allocate time for each party to address the court, give directions specifying the place and time of hearing of the petition, and give any other such orders that may be necessary to ensure a fair determination of the petition. Only 4 lawyers from each party will be allowed to access the courtroom. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Apologies, the number is 800 and not 800,000 as earlier stated. Now, moving on, members of the National Security Advisory Committee, NSSC, have denied that they wanted the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to alter the results of the presidential election. In an affidavit, NSSC members Kennedy Kihara and Joseph Kinyua dismissed the claims made by IEBC Commissioner Professor Abdi Galie and termed the claims as unfounded and a total misrepresentation of the events of August 15, 2022. In the affidavit, the two said their visit to the National Tallying Center in Bomas was occasioned by the delay in the announcement of presidential results. The two in the affidavit say, and I quote, "The said meeting of 15th August 2022 was necessitated by the fact that the NSSC, in the discharge of its mandate, had become seized of information to the effect that apparent delays in declaring the results of the presidential election and the manner in which results were being transmitted, including the stoppage of the public display of results, had generated considerable public anxiety and tension and risked creating the opportunity for chaos, violence, and insecurity in parts of the country," end of quote. NSSC added that the Constitution stipulates that the results of the presidential election had to be declared before August 16th, but it was not clear whether the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and Wafula Chebukati would meet the timelines. And religious leaders drawn from different faiths have called on Kenyans to wait patiently for the Supreme Court ruling expected to be delivered on September 5th, 2022. Speaking at Ufungamano House, the religious leaders called on Kenyans, regardless of their affiliation, to accept the ruling of the Supreme Court and the position of justice to ensure the country moves forward. At the same time, the leaders called on the judges to ensure fairness and impartiality as they embark on the arduous process. Grace Ongoi reports.
It will be a busy week at the Supreme Court, with major activities concerning presidential petitions expected to happen. On Tuesday, August 30th, Supreme Court will hold a pre-trial conference which will help the court to establish managerial control over the case and discourage wasteful pre-trial activities. Following the completion of pre-trial activities, the court will begin hearing the petition on August 31st and is expected to deliver its verdict on September 5th, 2022, 14 days after the petition was filed. The tension that this petition gives Kenyans is undeniable, with supporters of both sides of the divide hoping that the ruling will be in their favor. It therefore comes as no surprise that religious leaders have taken up the mandate to calm Kenyans during this critical time.
All Kenyans to wait until the Supreme Court processes the petitions, keeping in mind the wisdom of Proverbs chapter 18:17. On our part as religious leaders, we urge every Kenyan, regardless of their political affiliation, to accept the ruling of the Supreme Court as the position of justice. It is Kenya that will have won either way.
Religious leaders drawn from different faiths have come out to call on Kenyans to maintain peace and calm and to wait for the Supreme Court to deliver the judgment, noting that regardless of their political affiliation, they should accept the ruling. This even as they called for the bench to uphold fairness and impartiality.
We commend the residents of the counties, constituencies and wards who are participating in electing their leaders today, following the earlier postponement. We call upon the residents of these areas to exercise their democratic right and to do so peacefully. Failing to vote is in essence voting for the person you do not want to become your leader.
The religious leaders at the same time commended residents of counties, constituencies and wards for participating in electing their leaders after elections were postponed.
Njagi will give you the statement.
Grace Wangoi for Hope TV News Watch.
Away from that, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has ordered all motorbikes impounded by Nairobi County to be released. Sakaja said the motorbikes should be released to the owners and all cases withdrawn with immediate effect. Issuing the orders on Monday, Sakaja also asked the City Inspectorate to identify official drop-off and pick-up points within Nairobi. However, some border operators in Nairobi County say that unless Sakaja sends his officers to withdraw the impounded motorbikes, the harassment from the city askaris is here to stay. Dolly Murigi has more.
This is a new face of Nairobi County.
On his 100 days in office, Nairobi County new boss Johnson Sakaja has ordered the release of all impounded motorbikes at City Hall. Speaking after meeting with all county government staff on Monday, Sakaja further directed that all cases against boda riders be immediately withdrawn. In July, the Nairobi Metropolitan Services had promised to release impounded motorbikes after consultation with Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutimbai. NMS Director General Mohamed Badi had said that the bikes will be released before the August 9 general election, admitting that city askaris harass motorbike riders.
Unaingia na siku ya kwanza na unaanza kazi hapo hapo. Sasa next najua venye ameamurisha hao watu.
Benjamin Kubasu, a boda operator in Nairobi, and his boda once held at City Hall. Kubasu says harassment by the city askaris has been the norm in town, as it happens at times with no apparent reason, adding that to get the bike back, one needs to have enough money for that.
Mkubwa anaweza ongea ziachiliwe, lakini wewe ukienda kuchukua hiyo pikipiki, unaenda unaambiwa hii pikipiki unajua venye imeingia hapa yezi toka bure. So ni lazima hiyo pikipiki uache pesa kidogo, hata kama ni 1500 ama 7000 ndio hiyo pikipiki iweze kuondolewa. Na mkubwa alikuwa amesema hiyo pikipiki kila mtu yote ameshikwa pikipiki iende achiliwe free. So unaona hiyo inakuwa ni ngumu sana. Sasa unaona hapo hata wakisema tuachiliwe na tukienda kuchukua pikipiki huko hivyo unaitishwa pesa. Unaona hata hakuna venye tunaweza saidiana hapo. So ni atume askari zake ndio sasa tuone venye tunaweza pia saidika pia sisi.
Last week on Thursday, when Governor Sakaja took the oath of office, he vowed to make Nairobi a city of order and dignity, committing to ensure a fair business environment.
I want to say all of those impounded bikes to be released immediately back to their owners. If we have taken them to court, we need to withdraw. Kama unajua ni kitu ndogo, hiyo bike ukiweka weekend mzima ama wiki moja, where do you expect that person to earn a living from? So we will penalize those who go against the law, but let us not. Unajua unaweza piga uwe. Wewe mtu ana mali pengine, but we are starting from a fresh slate.
Over time, the boda riders have been engaged in running battles with city askaris, some of whom claim they are rogue askaris who disagree with some of the demands. However, with Sakaja's move, they hope for a better tomorrow.
Kuna wafisadi wengi sana, na sisi kama kitambo tulikuwa tunalipa kajo hata 300 per month. Wenye tuliona makateli wamejaa kila mahali, walifanya hata sisi tuzushe kutoanga hiyo kitu kidogo kuwalipa hata. Juu kitambo kulikuwa na mpangilio. Sasa hii hakunanga mpangilio. Mtu anatoka from nowhere anakuja kukaa mahali huko na anajizusha. Haya, kuna wengine nao makatels. Ukiingia town, kama ni town umeingia hivi, unapata umeshikwa mahali yoyote na huyo mtu akupeleki ndani, ukukukura tu kwa barabara na anakutoa mpaka kwa barabara.
Ni vizuri kama gavana wetu amejitolea hizo bike zote ziachiliwe. Ni vizuri kwa sababu kuna labda mtu alishikiwa pikipiki yake, labda hana hata hiyo chakula, hiyo ndo inalisha familia yake yote. So naweza sema ni step poa amepiga by the way.
Dolly Murigi, Hope TV, Nairobi.
Let's now move to Embu County, where just a few days after taking reins of leadership of Embu County, Governor Cecily Mbarire has hit the ground running with the first task being the revival of the ailing health system. During an inspection and fact-finding mission of the county's main health facility, Embu Level 5 Hospital, Mbarire came face-to-face with the state of the facility, which many termed as deplorable. She lamented the poor state of affairs in the facility, ranging from acute shortage of drugs, beddings and foodstuffs, all of which she said was attributable to poor funding, mismanagement and corruption. During her inaugural speech, the governor promised that her first task in 100 days in office will be reviving the county's healthcare system, and she said was at its deathbed.
Mimi nitajaribu kuzungumza na wabunge wenzangu. Nitafanya bidii yote. Nitahakikisha miswada ambayo yote inahitajika imeweza kupita katika bunge, kuhakikisha especially mambo ya level 5 tumeweza kusort issues za madawa, tumeweza kusort mambo ya materials, lakini pia ningependa tukubali kwamba kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Kazi ya bunge yetu itakuwa ni kupitisha pesa, na kazi ya madaktari itakuwa kutibu watu wetu. Kwa hivyo tunahitaji kila mtu afanye kazi yake.
Kuna equipments mingi sana ya mabilioni ya pesa, kama si mamilioni, ambao ingine haitumiki kwa sababu mbili. Kwa sababu nyingine hakuna staff ambao wanatakiwa watumie hizo machine, ama ingine imenunuliwa alafu ikawekwa huko kwa sababu imeharibika vitu ndogo ambayo inaweza kurekebishwa. Kwa hivyo tumesema ni jukumu letu, na tumeambia hospitali they must take a stock, wakague mashini zote, condition zao ziko namna gani, na watupatie hiyo report. Ndio ile inaweza irekebishwe mara moja na ianze kufanya kazi.
The biggest challenge in this hospital is funding. There's no proper budgetary allocation to this hospital, and so a lot of things are not there. Both pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical supplies are lacking in a big way, and then of course this need for improvement in terms of management and how things are run, and how to just take care of what we have. We are going to deal with the cartels if there are any. There will be no sacred cows. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. We are keen to make sure that the people of Embu County get full services in this hospital. Having talked to a few of the people I've met who had come either to see their patients or coming for treatment, there's desperation amongst the people. So clearly, to turn that around means that anyone in the path of that happening will have to allow us to do it, because we must give services to the people of Embu County.
To Murang'a County now, Governor Irungu Kang'ata says the county will begin purchasing medicine exclusively from Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA. Speaking during his maiden formal tour of the county government offices, Kang'ata said the move will cut off middlemen involved when purchasing from private entities by eliminating kickbacks. This will reduce county funds spent on buying drugs and ensure the drugs are available at all public health facilities. Kang'ata noted that the county owed KEMSA more than 35 million shillings and their accounts had been frozen. He, however, asserted that talks were underway to unfreeze the accounts and resume purchase of drugs from the government-owned institution.
Procurement of medicine for now will be restricted to KEMSA. I had an engagement with the Chief Executive Officer of KEMSA. There was a requisition where I was being told whether do we go for the private sector or KEMSA, and I told the officers concerned that we have to procure through government. KEMSA is a government entity, and therefore it's not a profit-making entity. You do not get any kickback once you procure from KEMSA, and therefore we feel we are under an obligation to get our supplies from government. But Murang'a had a huge debt owing to KEMSA of about almost 35 million. And on that reason, our accounts were frozen. But we had an engagement with the Chief Officer of KEMSA. She agreed to unfreeze our accounts. By doing that, we shall be eliminating cartels which have been milking Murang'a people dry, buying medicine very expensively in the private market, so that they can get some kickbacks. And therefore, on that account, once we buy from government, we believe we will have tamed that problem.
All right, with that, let's now take a short break on news. We'll be back shortly with more. Do stay with Hope TV News Watch.
Coming up this September, CITAM Springboard Convention 2022 with fresh anointing to radiate God's glory as we reach out to the lost. Mark and save these dates from the 20th to the 24th September 2022 at CITAM Valley Road. The convention is themed Till the Whole World Hears and will definitely revive and uplift your faith. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 24 verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached to the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Get ready for the Springboard Convention 2022. You don't want to miss it.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Let's continue with our broadcast. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has reaffirmed that the construction of Phase 2 competency-based curriculum CBC classrooms will be completed on time. The CS said the construction of the classrooms, which will host junior secondary school learners in January 2023, is currently at 90% completion. He noted that the government was working with speed to ensure that they are completed on time and challenged contractors to hasten the completion of the remaining classrooms within the stipulated time frame. Magoha was speaking at Moi Girls Secondary School Isinya after commissioning 2 CBC classrooms under the Phase 2 project. Grade 6 pupils are expected to join the junior secondary schools in January 2023 after sitting the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KPSEA in November this year.
Our second stop here is Nile Road in Nairobi. Nairobi is still a hiccup for us because despite massive improvement, we are still at about 80%, and we must complete by the grace of God by this weekend or earliest next week Monday. In terms of preparedness, I think we are very well prepared, starting with the examination class, 2 of whom I have here, whom I have just assessed while planting a tree. I'm very satisfied that these children will fly, even if they were to do the exam today. And that's why I'm bold enough to encourage all the others that since our children are extremely resilient, we should focus on the exam that is coming in about 2 months' time, 2 or 3 months' time. Everything extraneous will come and pass, but that exam, I think, is important for us, because we have to normalize as we are going into a double intake. Otherwise, it will prove to be a challenge going forward from there. In terms of the CBC classrooms, we are now over 90%. The Central Region, which is one of the largest regions in this country, is 100%, followed by the Northeastern Region. Nyanza Region is 100% minus Kisii, which has a few classrooms to do. Eastern Region being done by Mr. Sugut is at about 95-96%. The Coastal Region, and of course Western. And we are going to focus on Western, specifically Kakamega and Bungoma, which may still require that we go there. But they are also approaching 90%, and therefore we shall deliver. In terms of the classrooms that we are going to take from the primary schools, there are 2,300 primary schools that are within the same precinct of schools. We shall get another 5,000 classrooms there.
Let's get to some church news now. Africa Enterprise, AE, last week kicked off a mission campaign to bring people to Jesus in Lusaka, Zambia, as they commemorate 60 years of evangelism in African cities. This is a grand celebration of leaders across the nations of Africa and beyond to give thanks to God for the milestone, as well as reach out to more souls and to Christ. The Lusaka for Jesus mission has been happening from 25th August and will continue until the 4th of September 2022. The activities include door-to-door evangelism, ministry to schools, hospitals and offices, and open-air meetings. CITAM is also represented in the celebrations by Heaven's Gate, a Hell's Flame evangelistic team, and Hope Media. Tess Njenga has this report.
As African Enterprise celebrates 60 years of evangelism, they are partnering with the local churches of Lusaka in a 10-day mission to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Since the year 1962, African Enterprise has worked to evangelize to cities in Africa through word and deed. The celebration happened at Bread of Life Church International in Lusaka, Zambia. South African region team leader Lutangu Lubasi said that Lusaka is being transformed in the various ministry activities.
To see all this come together was a very touching experience for me, but it also means now we are released, to go into the field, reach out to many, many people using our stratified evangelism. I think already we had a warm-up just the last few days. We had the doctors meeting, we had the street cleaning, we had the football tournament yesterday, and the wonderful tournament with the CEOs. And people are coming to know the Lord Jesus Christ.
It's a privilege for us to be part of this, and being the steering committee chairman, I'm so privileged that I can share my faith with other people in the city of Lusaka.
It's historic because this is the first time the whole of Lusaka, every compound will have at least a missioner speaking the word of God in marketplaces, on the streets, and in the offices, and wherever people are found, we will reach them out there.
Reverend Saulos Baika, who is the president of the Council of Churches in Zambia, expressed joy in being part of the mission and celebration.
I'm so happy to be part of such a network of bringing the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, and on the mission which is dubbed Lusaka for Jesus. That's what gives me that joy, just to be part of such a celebration where I can be able to network with my brothers and sisters for one cause.
Coming from all of Africa, from Nigeria to South Africa, and saying, by the grace of God, here we go into the city of Lusaka, received by the bishops and pastors and commissioned. And so now we've taken off so that officially we can go into the streets and into the byways of this city.
Welcoming the mission, Bishop Kangua Mumba, Vice President of Zambia's Evangelical Churches, said that the campaign is going to change lives, as in the case of Zacchaeus in the Bible, and the community at large.
This campaign is great news. It reminds me of the salvation of Zacchaeus. When Zacchaeus came to know the Lord, two things happened. He was able to make peace with the people he had differences with, the people that he had taken money from. He said because of Christ coming into his life, he was going to pay back, to those that he had taken away from. And then secondly, he gave half of his wealth to the poor. Because Christ entered his heart, his life changed and the community changed. I see this campaign that as many receive Christ, it's going to change families, it's going to change marriages, it's going to change workplace culture, it's going to change stewardship.
We have a number of issues. We have issues of poverty, we have issues of prostitution, we have issues of street kids, we have issues of crime and all that. But when the gospel comes, it changes lives, transforms people. So we believe that with this coming of this mission, we'll be able to see many lives transformed, many lives changed.
Zambia was declared as a Christian nation on 30th of December 1991. The Lusaka for Jesus mission will continue until the 4th of September 2022.
A paradigm shift and a hunger for Jesus, where churches, despite their diversity, yet we can stand one and proclaim the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
From Lusaka, Zambia, let's come back to the country. Move to Machakos County, where a police officer attached to Mola Police Post has been arraigned at the Machakos Law Courts for allegedly breaking into OCS's office and stealing 71,000 shillings paid as bail. Paul Chege is alleged to have committed the offense on 25th of August 2022, where he broke the OCS's table drawers and accessed a cash bail book containing the said amount and vanished with the cash. He pleaded not guilty before the principal magistrate, Mary Otindo, and was slapped with a 100,000 shilling cash bail or served 15 days in custody before the case is mentioned. The case will be mentioned on 15th September 2022. To Siaya County now, a GEM Member of Parliament, Elisha Odhiambo, has challenged the new Siaya County government administration led by Governor James Orengo to subject all pending bills to forensic audit before settling them. Odhiambo at the same time challenged Orengo to get to the bottom of a 600 million shilling graft case at the county government, adding that the devolved government owed Kenyans an explanation. Speaking at the Hawinga village, home of Deputy Governor William Odol, the legislator said most of the pending bills could be fictitious and the public risked losing millions of shillings to unscrupulous ex-county government officials. Odhiambo, who retained his seat during the just concluded general election, said the public still demanded an answer to a 600 million shilling loss that was reported 6 months to the general election.
You have a lot of pending bills. Before you pay those pending bills, subject them to a forensic audit. Subject them to a forensic audit. Number two, there was a lot in papers 6 months before we went to election of 600 million that was stolen. Please tell Kenyans, especially people from Siaya, where did that money go to? You have the benefit that you are money alone, and the colleagues who are in the assembly, they can help us interrogate and get to the bottom of it. Let that money not go direct to the pocket of individual or an individual. Because the people of Siaya don't have medicine in the hospital. What they have is only Panadol.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Let's get to some business news now. NCBA Group PLC has posted a profit before tax of 11.2 billion shillings in its half-year results ending June 30th, 2022, which is a 51% increase compared to 7.4 billion shillings reported during a similar period last year. Commenting on the results, John Gashora, the Group Managing Director of NCBA Group, said the results reflect the outcomes of the strategic actions that the group has taken to support customers navigate the current macroeconomic environment, and a confirmation that the merger is bearing the fruit of its promise. In the results, the assets grew to 604 billion shillings, 11% up year-on-year. Customer deposits closed at 468 billion shillings, 7% up year-on-year. The bank also distributed 339 billion shillings in digital loans, a 25% increase, and operating income grew to 20.9 billion shillings.
Let me start by saying that when I shared my 4 priorities for this year, the 4th priority was on making our regional businesses count for something. If you look at last year, I think I mentioned last year, our regional businesses made a loss of 1.5 billion shillings across. And we were very determined to turn those businesses around. We have managed to turn Rwanda around. We've managed to turn around Uganda. Even Côte d'Ivoire, which is a small regional entity, it's profitable. So those 3 markets are contributing profitably to the bottom line, and we do see the business models are promising that will continue to be profitable. Tanzania, I also want to say, has been our largest subsidiary outside of Kenya, and therefore has been quite important. When it coughs, the regional subsidiaries cough. Last year, we made significant loss in Tanzania. And what we have done is then look at Tanzania very specifically and say, what is wrong with our business? Yeah, and to say that it's become rather unpredictable in the past, where one month you'd have a very good profit, another month you'd have a loss.
And Kibugu Coffee Farmers Cooperative Society in Embu County has benefited from 700,000 shillings revolving fund that will assist the cooperatives acquire affordable renewable energy gadgets to assist coffee farmers to conserve the environment. Michael Orange, who is the director of the Rainforest Alliance in Kenya and Tanzania, said farmers have been hesitant in adopting the use of renewable energy due to high cost of equipment. Speaking during close-out workshop in Embu for a 1-year project that has been running in the Mount Kenya region to assist coffee farmers adopt the use of renewable energy, Orange said the project was being funded by Mitsubishi Corporation for Europe and Africa to enhance sustainable cooking solutions for coffee farmers in Mount Kenya landscape through facilitating cooperative societies to acquire and sell these renewable energy gadgets and sell to farmers at cheaper prices.
Bodi ya Kafugo Farmers Cooperative Society tumewapatia kupitia huu mradi shilingi karibu 1,700 na tumaini letu ni kuwa wataweza kusalisha pesa mingi kutumia hii kama mbegu tu ya kuanzisha huu mradi, sababu watakuwa wakitumia hiyo pesa kwa kununua jiko kwa wingi, na hiyo pia itahakikisha kuwa jiko then zinapatikana kwa bei rahisi.
Ile revolving fund walitupea 700,000, tulinunua majiko kwanza with the first consignment 120 jiko koa, na zote zikanunuliwa na wakulima. Within 1 week zilikuwa zimeisha. Na saa hii second ni consignment imesaa kuja. Ile tulipata on 18th of this month. Na pia hiyo iko karibu kuisha. Hii mradi itasaidia sana wakulima wa Kibugu kwa kupreserve, kwa kuzuia kuharibu mazingira. Tena itapunguza magonjwa. Vile tunajua hii moshi, ile moshi inatoka kwa hiyo jiko jiko ya mawe tatu. Hiyo moshi inaleta magonjwa ya respiratory tract.
Hatuwezi tukafanya hizi miradi na pengine kuhakikisha kuwa zimekuwa successful kivyetu, lakini tunafaa kushirikiana. Hata county government tunahimiza pia ingilie ndani kwa huu mradi na miradi ingine ambayo tunafanya katika county ya Kirinyaga na Embu.
The newly elected Nyandarua Governor Moses Kiaria Ndirangu kicked off his official duties as the head of the county by visiting a potato cold store that is under construction in the outskirts of Olkalau town. The governor inspected the construction works of the project and briefed on the project's progress, challenging the contractor to complete it by September to end post-harvest losses for Nyandarua farmers. The county boss further welcomed the national government ongoing support, noting that a similar facility may be required in Kinangop sub-county to help farmers reduce post-harvest losses that occur due to lack of storage facilities.
Kwa sasa ukiangalia wakulima wa viazi uza haraka haraka ili viazi zisiharibikie mikononi mwao, na hii itawasaidia sana hasa kuongeza dhamana ya viazi, kwa sababu viazi si viazi tu, unaweza tengeza crisps, unaweza tengeza chips, unaweza tengeza unga ya viazi, na hiyo yote ikifanyika hapa wakulima watapata mapato ya hali ya juu. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio haja yetu, na tunafurahia kuwa na hii partnership na county government, na kama micro and small enterprise tuna mambo mengi ambayo tunafanya kwa niaba ya serikali kuu. Hata hapa nyuma tuna ile inaitwa Constituency Industrial Development Center ambayo tunaweka mafundi wa jua kali, mafundi wote tunawanunulia mashine za kufanya kazi, na hiyo ndio kazi ile ambayo labda wengi wetu hawajui, ambayo serikali kuu inafanya ikiwa inashikania na serikali ya county government.
Mimi nimetosheka ya kwamba mradi huu ukiweza kuwekwa equipments utakuwa na usaidizi mwingi sana kwa wakulima wa hapa Nyandarua, na kama vile tulisema hapo jana wakati nilipewa kazi hii ya kuwa governor wa Nyandarua, tulisema kwamba tutashirikiana na watu wote, serikali kuu na hata wale viongozi wengine, na leo nimekuja hapa kudhihirisha huo uhusiano uko na tutaendelea. Nimesikia challenges ambazo wako nazo, na nataka kuahidi kama governor tutakabiliana na changamoto hizo. Kuna maofisa wao ambao wanatekeleza kazi hii na wengine hawana ofisi maalum ya kutumia, na tumeona tutaangalia katika ofisi yetu vile tunaweza kufanya. Kwa hivyo langu tu ni kushukuru na kuuliza yule contractor ambaye amepewa kazi hii aweze kuharakisha mahali imebakia, ili kama vile mwenyekiti amesema kufikia mwisho wa mwezi wa 9 awe amekamilisha, tuweze kupokea mradi huu na tuweze kuwakabidhi kwa wananchi ili waweze kuwatumia, kwa sababu wakulima wa Nyandarua wamengoja kwa muda mrefu.
The KCB Foundation will provide full scholarships to 251 university students this year. The Group Director, Marketing, Corporate Affairs and Citizenship, Rosalind Gishuru, commissioned the group of students who will be joining various tertiary institutions on 26th August 2022 during an event at KCB Leadership Center. The event was graced by hundreds of KCB Education Scholarship alumni and mentors from across the country. During her speech, Rosalind said they are proud of their beneficiaries who have recorded an impressive 99% secondary school completion rate and 83% transition to university. KCB Foundation launched its scholarship program in 2007 to support bright students through their high school education. High school scholarship package will provide comprehensive support from tuition, mentorship, transport and upkeep, among others. And some sports news now. Shujaa concluded the 2021-22 World Rugby 7 Series at 12th place with 49 points after collecting 12 from the season-ending Los Angeles leg on Sunday night. The Kenyan boys lost the 5th place final 29-7 to Argentina, having dropped out of the main cup contention following a 40-14 loss to series champions Australia. against Argentina. Anthony Omondi's try at the end of the first half provided a hope for a comeback after Matthias Osachuk's early double, one of which was converted. Coach Damian McGrath will now look for positives from the outing in the US ahead of the World Cup, where he hopes the team can go beyond the quarters. All right, that's where we wind up our bulletin tonight on Hope TV News Watch. Many thanks for watching this live broadcast. I'll see you again tomorrow same time. My name is Tony Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Muriithi. Have a good night and God bless.